company or its management.
This is Miss Lady B, La Boricua. Now it's time for the Family Meeting News.
Here are real news highlights from the Family Meeting. Prosecutors in Chicago announced on Tuesday that all charges against Jussie Smollett in the alleged hate crime hoax have been dropped after he had performed 16 hours of community service and forfeited his $10,000 bond. Kim Fox, the Cook County state's attorney, insisted the charges being dropped did not constitute an exoneration. Smollett's camp made it clear that he was not admitting any guilt and even slammed the prosecutor's decision. Chicago, this part here is hard for me. Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel and Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson were upset. Shut the front door. For real? Looking for gainful employment? The European Space Agency, the German Aerospace Center, and NASA are looking for 24 volunteers to lie in bed for 2 months as part of a study into examining how the body changes in weightlessness. The 3 space agencies will compensate each volunteer $19,000. Dubbed the acronym AGBREZA, Artificial Gravity Bed Rest Study. NASA, ESA, and DLR have asked the public for 12 men and 12 women who will spend 60 days in special beds angled downward at 6 degrees, feet elevated above heads, with one shoulder touching the mattress at all times. This position simulates astronauts in space. Y'all didn't know that, did y'all? Me neither. Anyway, visit our website, tfmradioshow.com, and be sure to go and like our page on Facebook, The Family Meeting. You can also follow us on Twitter at TFM Radio Show and subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Family Meeting Radio Show, where you can see us live, y'all. We are live streaming this broadcast right now. Are you looking to advertise? We have a spot for you. As low as $30, you can become one of our cousins today. Email us info@tfmradioshow.com. I'm Teresa McDonald, and this has been your Real News Highlights for Sunday, March the 31st. The Family Meeting Radio Show starts right now with your host, Eric Grant.
Ain't no rush, girl.
This is Richard Chu, owner of First Capital Insurance Group, and my message is do what is doable. We each have a different measure of financial success. My mission is to help you define your financial goals in light of a realistic budget and time horizon. I want you to have a great year and a great life, but we have to keep it real. Is your retirement plan giving you the protection, interest rate, and cash you'll need in retirement? If you've had issues with your 401k, IRA, or other financial programs, give us a call. We have proven solutions, and we can help. My direct number is 312-243-3907. Let's talk soon. Or visit my website, firstcig.com. That's the number 1, stcig.com.
Are you looking for the best residential and commercial laundry service in the Chicagoland area? Then you want PleaseDoMyLaundry.com. That's PleaseDoMyLaundry.com.
Hey Chicago, are you always on the go? Take the new Shy 311 app with you to find the information that you need, submit non-emergency city service requests, and much more. Download the new Shy 311 app, built with Chicagoans for Chicagoans. That's Shy 311 on the App Store or Google Play, or check it out online at 311.chicago.gov. Stay informed with Shy 311. It's your gateway to Chicago services.
This is Dr. Steve Johnson from Howard University. I'm listening to The Family Meeting.
Hello, my name is James Harrell, and I'm a PADI Master Scuba Diver Trainer, and you can reach me at 708-785-3699, and you're listening to The Family Meeting.
Yeah, pull up a chair and set a spell. I've been in the South. See how I did that?
Set a spell.
No, that's not how we say it.
That ain't. I ain't from the South, so I don't really know.
Set it on down.
Set it on down.
Set it on down. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to try set a spell. Because I saw it on the Beverly Hillbillies.
Oh,
Set a spell.
Okay.
Take your shoes off. Y'all come back now, you hear?
Oh, my
I'm your boy, Eric Grant, in the space shuttle cockpit controlling everything is my future slave, Dennis. Thank you for that.
Benjamin, better known as Benjamin.
Or Benjamin, or Brett.
Brett.
We call you Brett. And Lady B's around here, my favorite Puerto Rican. What's up, girl? Tressa, thanks for doing the real news and the only way you know how to do it.
You are so welcome.
The Black Asian dude is here, Richard Chu.
Hey, y'all.
Richard.
Tressa, baby.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. Good to see you.
You as well. It's
Thank
good
you.
to be
We
seen.
got cake today, y'all. We got cake.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ann.
Thank you,
Thanks, Ann.
Ann.
Let Lady B know hers is over here as well. So
Lady B, you got cake over here.
And the hands go up.
Like us on Facebook at The Family Meeting Radio, on Twitter at TFM Radio Show, on Instagram at The Family Meeting. But also be sure to visit our webpage, tfmradioshow.com. Make sure you enter your email address. What y'all talking about?
nothing.
Huh?
Nothing.
The cake? Y'all talking about the cakes?
No.
All right, just don't touch my cake. And make sure you enter your email address to join the family. You also find our archived broadcasts and DJ Bubbles music playlist, but most importantly, the live video for the broadcast going on right there, right now. TFMRadioshow.com. The family meeting is sponsored by Identity Guard. Take the time to protect your ID for as little as $6 a month with Identity Guard. Visit lookaftermyid.com. That's lookaftermyid.com. The lines fill quickly. The number is 773-763-9278, 773-763-9278. Hopefully I can remember to hand it out a couple of times during the broadcast today. I am tired, if you can't tell. Been on a road trip with my man Mig, my road dog. We went to see colleges last week. We left from here to go to the airport.
He can drive and fly.
Yeah. So we went to Houston, Nashville, Raleigh-Durham, Danville, Virginia. Hee-haw, by the way. Elizabeth City, North Carolina. Hee-haw, too. And Dover, Delaware.
Not
all
bad.
in the course of a week.
Hee-haw, too.
Hee-haw.
Hee-haw 1 and
Which was incidentally a funny show, by the way.
Yeah, hee-haw was real funny.
That was funny as hell.
Yeah.
So was the Beverly Hillbillies. I mean, it was.
Yeah, that was funny, too. With the
If you caught it on certain episodes, it was funny. But then there was other episodes, you'd be like, for real.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, the funniest thing I heard during the trip was when we were in North Carolina. And Elizabeth City, North Carolina, doesn't see many people from Chicago, apparently. But the few they see leave them with a lasting memory. Because the young lady that gave us a tour said, yeah, I had a friend from Chicago one time. And he said, y'all was so nice, I wanted to rob all y'all. Yeah.
No way.
That's what he said. He said, y'all just, I felt like I could get away with it with y'all.
Oh, my
Oh, my
goodness.
goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
What city were you in?
Elizabeth City, North Carolina.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to make sure I don't go there.
Yeah.
No, but they're real nice down there. They leave the doors open and everything.
So the friend said this to the person there?
The friend from
tour guide
Chicago
said this to the tour
the
guide.
person from Elizabeth City.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I had it.
think
Yeah,
for a second,
I had it
too. I was
backwards.
like, wait a
Okay.
minute, really?
Y'all way too nice, man. I wanted to rob all of y'all. Gonna take y'all stuff, man.
Yeah.
So, of course, during the week, because we were on a flight almost every night, except Wednesday night, we were on a flight. And so I didn't watch much news. But what I did see was people having their hair on fire about this Mueller report.
Still.
Yeah, they don't know what the hell
They
is
don't
in
even
it.
know what's in it.
Yeah.
They're still raising hell,
Trust-
speculating like crazy.
We completely said no to it last week, and we'll say no to it every time Eric leads us in that direction.
Yeah, we will.
I just been saying to people all week, did you actually think that a white man was going to put together a report that was going to incriminate
A white man.
another white man, irrespective of their political stripe
right,
or gang?
right.
It's,
I mean,
I hear it's 400 pages. It's probably 400 pages of excuses and reasons.
and justification. I mean, that's the problem with waiting for
Now
Superman.
I'm speculating, see.
Yeah, but that's the problem with waiting for Superman. That we actually think, and I'm not blaming Mueller. I'm saying that all the other knuckleheads.
But what are you waiting for anyway? Of all the stuff that we know, he's a
It's
despicable
still
human
enough.
being.
Right. Without the Mueller report, it's still.
I mean, even if he didn't collude or whatever they want to say, he's still a despicable human being.
Yeah, and if you want to follow him, that means you're just as despicable.
I hope the man burns in hell. I really do. I could care less.
Gasoline suit on
No,
with rubber.
I don't hope he burns in hell.
get singed in? Maybe singed in hell?
Get his hair burned off so he doesn't have to keep doing this. Like
I
Eric
know
says.
that there is a special place in hell for people like him.
With an
But
uncomfortable
I would
seat,
hope
yeah.
that he changes his ways before then.
But for the last 2 years, people have been speculating about all this stuff as if you needed something additional to think that this man was a horrible person.
Eric, it's sort of like your hand is burning. It's, when we were growing up, Mama said, "Boy, don't put your hand on that eye on the stove." Mm-hmm. And we put our hands on there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And our hands burning like hell.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then we run to Daddy.
Is that what you did for real, man?
I didn't do that.
I'm just saying. You said we all put our hands on the stove. No,
I tried it.
Did you?
Yeah,
I got close, but I was like, nah.
There was a point in my life where, as a child, Mama don't know what she's talking about. So
until she knows what she's talking about.
Until she knows what she's talking about, yeah.
But
like as she used to say, you don't believe fat meat greasy, but I'm going to show you.
Right. But seriously.
I ain't put my hand on the stove. No.
We were told not to put our hands on the stove.
Mm-hmm.
But for those who put their hand on the stove and burned it after Mama said don't do it, and then you ran to Daddy and said, Daddy, can you tell me why the stove was hot? That's the same thing, we can see.
Yeah.
It's lit up.
But it doesn't matter. I mean, what this country is getting a chance to experience here is what happens, the frustration that black people have over the quote-unquote justice system.
Yeah.
One of my good friends this week, I'm going to give him a shout out. Rico, I know you're listening. He said, Rich, this is the perfect storm of white privilege, irrespective of your political stripes. He said it's the ultimate form. You get to keep your head in the sand until something happens.
Mm-hmm.
He's been getting away with this for the better part of 50 years. I don't know why people would think in this instance that he wouldn't get away with it.
Yeah, and he said this a year ago, actually right after the Mueller investigation started. Eric said, y'all gonna laugh at me, but watch.
And so we haven't seen anything yet. We don't know what's in there. So we'd be speculating to think that there's something in there or not in there for that matter.
Right.
But in the meantime, it's nothing.
Right.
It's nothing as far as that's concerned. But everything else, the body of work that you have to work with, if you can't be moved by that, then you're not going to be moved. What that tells me is that whatever's in that report, good or bad, it ain't going to make a lick of difference.
It's not going to make a difference.
Nope. Because people if they, at this point, can't be moved or whatever the word is.
Yeah.
Right. Well, this illiterate ass, crazy suit and tie wearing, you
overcoat
can't trip over that.
Bald head.
You can't trip over that, and you're gonna let this little thing,
thick non-pencil neck,
long
jaws,
tie wearing.
Wait, we sound like Eddie. I knew we were gonna get here. We sound like Eddie Murphy in Harlem Nights when he was talking about the dude that was a gangster. He's fat, bloated, stank, stupid,
booger picking.
But that's where we are.
Yeah. But you really, as it relates to the evaluating the work of the justice system, and we talked about this weeks ago, we don't have collectively any reason to trust the FBI. It's not that I'm agreeing with that imbecile in the White House, but the FBI has been up to all kinds of shenanigans that have harmed our communities for lots and lots of years, with no justice to be had.
Yep.
No recourse.
You can pin the murders of the likes of Fred Hampton and Dr. King and Minister Malcolm, all of them to the CIA and the FBI.
And to some John and Bobby.
Yeah, and them too. and traversing the globe, messing around on all kind of people's elections all over the world.
Everywhere.
So now we're worried about them messing with ours, and it's such a travesty. It's an offense. Man, please. You need to make sure you ain't doing what you getting done to you.
Tressa, the show following the 2016 election, and I know I say this often, but it's the truth. Eric Grant said, okay, America's about to get that ass whooping. It has been postponing for a couple of centuries.
All them centuries.
It is.
There it is.
Yep.
Yeah. So you've got to the story you talked about, Tressa, with your boy. His name is Jesse, by the way. He probably changed it to you for the theater.
It's actually Juicy.
Okay, we not finna.
We leave that alone now.
You have to hear the Jamaicans pronounce it. Juicy. What's wrong, Juicy?
So your boy Jesse is the new OJ,
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, because the reality is they're leaning in on Kim Foxx now. The cops screwed this one up.
Yeah, they did.
They screwed this one up. Now they mad because they don't go ahead and prosecute him anyway. And boy, it is galling to see how upset they are, including your boy Emmanuel. He can kick some damn rocks.
It is so galling.
In some sandals.
It is so galling.
Kick some damn rocks. You couldn't find any outrage when a child was murdered, shot 16 times, half of them bullets, only he's on the ground. But now you outraged about this?
And you knew about it.
Yeah.
No matter how you want to say you found out about it, you knew about it. I was sitting at we went out to dinner last night.
It's an instinctive slap. If you see him, you're like, God, you just slap him.
I read an article that said that Kim didn't get the memo.
Yeah.
In her first year.
Did I send you? I sent you guys that article today about she didn't get the memo and then what the.
She didn't get the memo about she's supposed to kowtow to the city hall.
Yeah.
She's supposed to check with Rom first before she make any moves.
And the cops.
And the cops.
Man, please.
But you know
need
what?
to go back and be upset about Zimmerman and all those cops who kill people.
All of those.
Just Eddie Johnson can kick rocks too.
I know,
yes, he can.
Yes, he can.
Yes, he can.
Tony Preckwinkle can kick rocks
with no shoes on.
I was sitting.
She messing around using Laquan McDonald's death
in her campaign. Yes.
The murder of a child.
And
she had.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
And that's how I felt last night. We went out to dinner with some friends, and a table off to my left was a suburban two older white couples, and they were just going on about how awful, and he's guilty, and just going down that road.
Who's guilty? Jesse?
So I got kicked in the shin a couple times because I kept doing this. Because I kept thinking, one more time, y'all say something one more time, and I'm gonna ruin your dinner.
Listen, Kim Foxx not trying that case was really what was in the best interest of this city. So I actually have to applaud her for that. Now, reporting a crime that wasn't a crime, and especially a hate crime, is probably the lowest of the lows, and it is against the law to do that. We all know that. But when Kim ran, Kim actually said that she ran on a platform of
cleaning some stuff up that had been done wrong.
Right. And reforming how cases are prosecuted and redirecting resources in her office to where she calls it smart justice. Mm-hmm. So I actually applaud her for this. Now, we don't know exactly what's in that case because we'll never see it because it's been sealed. We don't know what else he has to do. We don't know what other concessions he's already made. We don't know. And we also know that the crime didn't rise to the level of him being locked up for this many years or whatever, whatnot.
It's a show, a big giant show.
Because he was charged with a Class 4 felony?
Yeah.
That's the same as if I pulled
16 charges.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, each one of them, a Class 4 misdemeanor felony or whatever it is, it's the same as if I pulled a fire alarm.
Yeah, and she was recused, by the way, too.
Yeah.
She couldn't do that.
They got him.
Isn't it ironic, though, that it's 16 charges against him, and it was 16
shots against.
Yeah, I said that earlier, too. So, message trying to send.
Bingo, pow, bam.
Trying to send a message.
Y'all can kick rocks, all y'all.
All
the mayor and Tony can kick rocks, all y'all can kick rocks.
Every single one of them.
Y'all need to see that. You got to see that, too, by the way. The justice system ain't working, man.
Nope.
All right, the number is 773-763-9278. We're going to do our heartfelt best to get to the phones as fast as we can today, y'all. Stay tuned for more of the Family Meeting.
This is Rodney Harrington. Keep listening to the Family Meeting.
Make a smart financial move for retirement. Make your retirement money into an IRA. Scheduled income. Support your dream. Explore investment options. Gain full control over your money. Give the money a chance for additional tax-deferred growth. How do you start? Call Polaris Wealth Management, the resource for IRA rollovers. Call 312-951-2000. 2606 or email us at polaris@polarisadvice.com. Polaris Wealth Management is the resource for IRA rollovers. That's 312-951-2606 or email us at polaris@polarisadvice.com. We help new retirees plan to protect their money. Securities offered through Line Street Financial LLC. Member FINRA and SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Line Street Advisors LLC. Polaris Wealth Management and Line Street are not affiliated.
A 2016 study estimates that 13.1 million Americans were victims of identity theft that year. Fight back against identity theft by signing up for Identity Guard. Identity Guard monitors your credit and identity information with alerts that can help you respond quickly if certain changes indicating fraudulent activity are detected, as well as help protect your computer from viruses, keylogging, and other serious threats. Plus, with Identity Guard's dynamic credit management resources and tools, you will have helpful information as you make better financial and credit decisions. Identity Guard includes $1 million identity theft insurance and lost wallet protection, and more if you ever do become a victim. Protect your ID by visiting lookaftermyid.com. That's lookaftermyid.com to securely sign up for Identity Guard today.
A basic and essential part of any financial plan is savings. Most of whatever cash you have will be there because you put it there, not necessarily because of some fancy investment. Now with Save and Plan, Polaris has introduced a way for you to get empowering financial advice. Save and Plan is simple. Just sign up to save on a systematic monthly basis directly from your account and gain access to a planner and our planning services. Once you sign up to save, Polaris will help you develop a customized financial plan and give you a real person to speak with. Your dedicated planner is just an email or phone call away. Save and Plan offers empowering advice for everyone. Visit us at polarisadvice.com and call us today at 312-951-2606 or email us at polaris@polarisadvice.com. That's 312-951-2606 or email us at polaris@polarisadvice.com. Save and Plan, empowering advice for everyone.
Securities offered through Line Street Financial LLC, member FINRA and SIPC. Investment advisor services offered through Line Street Advisors LLC, registered investment advisors. Polaris Wealth Management and Line Street Financial are not affiliated.
This is Oliver Gibson. Welcome back to the Family Meeting.
Yeah, the number is 773-763-9278, 773-763-9278. So look, man, let me see if I can put some bumpers around our conversation today. The Mueller report, you don't know what's in it.
Nope.
So if you're going to go on opine about what it says and all, you don't know. Don't nobody know. Mueller did a good job of keeping leaks from happening. Mm-hmm. Right. So don't nobody know. You don't know what's in there. You do know that the man in the White House is a despicable human being. Mm-hmm. All indications are of that. So and that people don't care.
Right.
So to try to make the argument that somebody's got to see something to change their mind, remember now, people voted for this lunatic knowing a lot of really bad things about him.
Yep. Exactly.
So it ain't nothing, what you're talking about ain't no worse than anything they knew before they voted for him.
Nope.
Nothing's going to change. They are complicit co-conspirators in that imbecile, and they're not going to change their mind.
Exactly.
Save your breath, man.
The report isn't going to change their minds, and those who are in the middle that need help. What do you need help with?
You're wasting your time.
Hell down there renovating right now, making more room.
Yeah.
For all his supporters, making more room.
Yeah. Because his poll numbers haven't changed. No, still 1/3 of whatever. Right? 80% of the Republicans still support him. Yeah. That's who they are.
Yep.
That's exactly who they are.
You can't get away, and don't try to get away from the Republicans. Just own it. I'd rather. That's like my father used to tell me about growing in the South and living in the North. He said when you grew up, growing up in the South, the one thing you knew, he said if you knew somebody what they thought about you because they were going to outright in your face, call you the N-word. He said the problem about being up north, he says you don't know who's stabbing you in the back. And to Eric's point all the time about economic racism and violence. Thank you. Right here, we it's the same thing.
Yeah,
it's the same thing. You know, we don't need a Superman or Superwoman to prove what's right in front of your face.
Speaking of Superman or Superwoman,
yes.
Okay, so I don't have anything against Beto O'Rourke, but I don't see what people are hyped up about him.
Oh, come on, E.
What?
You don't.
Okay, let's go to the phone.
Other than he's a white dude, what the heck?
That's it.
It's about to be a fight.
That's all it is. No. I'm walking.
Chris is on line one.
I'm walking through the path.
Chris,
that's the only reason, E.
We coming to you, Chris.
You're right.
Yeah,
that's
okay,
it.
I don't see no, I mean, I'm saying he's an okay candidate,
right?
But I don't see why you got all this fervor for him. What?
Because they want a white male Superman.
Okay, let's get Chris.
No, you didn't.
Yes, he did say that. He did say that. I heard him. Chris, what's up, man?
Can you hear me?
Yes. How are you? Welcome to the family meeting.
I know. I talked to you guys months ago when I was in Bensonville.
I know you have. And did you get off the sauce, Chris? What's going on? You was locked up?
No, I'm in a nursing home.
Oh,
wow. What happened?
Aging.
Aging. It happens sometimes.
Yeah, Father Time. He's undefeated.
To me.
Yeah.
But you hanging strong, Chris?
Hey, man, there's a lot of sexual activity in those nursing homes, too, man. Man, listen, man, don't be out there bad, all right?
Hey, listen, I got to get this off my chest here about the thing in the White House. Have you guys ever heard of the F-35 fighter jet?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, Mr. Trump has extended funding for it for another 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in test flights, the F-35 can't shoot down a duck. They went up against an F-16, and the F-35 couldn't catch it, outmaneuver it, or anything.
Yeah, but you know why he did that? He sells those to Israel, and then Israel, once he gets them over there, they outfit them with the stuff. They modify them. And then Israel turns around and sells those to other countries.
Yeah, may I say something now that I'm in a nursing home? A lot of nursing homes are accepting mental patients. So please be careful where you put your loved ones. Because this place has got a lot of them here.
Will do, Chris.
Yeah.
Get better, man. We appreciate you calling today.
Yeah, man. Don't eat the chicken, all right?
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Man, Chris, sorry to hear that, man. Let's get Steve calling from the Gold Coast. Steve, what's up, man?
Yes, a couple of points. And with all due respect to the previous caller, I mean, if we were to exclude everyone who has a deteriorating mental condition from old age homes, who would exactly be there? I mean, there aren't too many people who are all there at age 90. And so, I respect his sort of nature in terms of being worried, but it's not a realistic expectation.
Well, I mean, I think that there's something to be said about making sure that if they have patients like that they have the appropriate controls in place.
And care,
And absolutely, and that's different than what he's saying, because if you were to exclude people who are of deteriorating mental health, who exactly are we supposed to have?
Well, no, I don't think he said exclude them. I think he was just saying be careful. I don't think he said exclude them.
Yeah.
But I get your point, though. I get your point.
Yeah. Now, and then moving on with regard to the Mueller investigation, I mean, you're absolutely right, because, I've been asked to condense hundreds of pages of research so that somebody running for office somewhere or somebody who holds office can go ahead and make a presentation that doesn't involve 3 hours of reading to their constituents, because they're not in a position to understand complex issues. So, and when I do so, I tell them up front, look, I mean, I can give you something, but if it's going to be 700 pages, I'm going to give you 50. And don't ask me to give you 3 or 4, because it's impossible for me to condense this into 3 or 4. So when somebody tells me that the Mueller report has been condensed into 4 pages, how in heaven's name has it been condensed into 4 pages that possibly could reflect the nature of the actual report itself?
Either the 4 pages has to be inaccurate, or the 400 pages were a waste of time. It's either one or the other.
Yeah, I mean, it's either inaccurate, it's incomplete. It serves a political purpose, which again, keep in mind, you're asking somebody who was appointed by Donald Trump to actually summarize somebody else's work. And then you're supposed to accept that. I mean, that on its face is absurd, but this is the system that we have.
Yeah, that's why we're going to get to where Mueller's going to be called to Congress. We just be ready for that.
Or not.
Right.
I think he will.
And the 2 other points, and for people who are, because this was really very complex in terms of looking at these issues. For anyone who wants sort of a condensed version, look at Adam Schiff's response to the call on the part of Republicans for his resignation, because he does a better job than virtually anybody else at providing providing you with an understanding of these issues, why it is that Donald Trump is guilty of what the other people in this country believe he is guilty of. Despite the fact that it may not rise to a crime, there's a difference between my being able to prove you did something wrong and it being criminal versus being wrong. And perhaps, the law has not quite caught up to certain things, because in this day of technology, the law is sometimes behind the acts that people do. Long before we had laws against selling certain kinds of drugs in the streets. Why? Because we didn't know that they existed, because methamphetamine is synthetic. So people were selling it, and it was legal before we had a law against it. That doesn't mean that it was perfectly fine to sell methamphetamine. So, we've got to understand, the complexities of these things. And lastly, with regard to the Smollett case, I would respectfully disagree with you to some extent. I think that this city has a horrific record with regard to its treatment of people of color and poor people. I think we have a system of justice that certainly needs reform and needs oversight. And it's absolutely true that the mayor's office and the chief of police need to address those as well. But at the same time, we can take someone to task and say, this was wrong, and someone exploited their position as a person who is a person of color and a person who is gay.
Yeah, but that's not why she chose to. That's not why she chose to not prosecute Steve.
Yeah,
we don't know why she chose not.
We do know why.
Well, we speculate.
No. In her own words, I know why. In her own words,
right,
she put out a statement.
That's the whole. Right. That's right. And her statement is not the end of the story. That's like saying Donald Trump's statement is the end of the story with regard to the decisions he's made. This case, because you don't just simply say, I'm not going to prosecute, and by the way, we're going to go ahead and try and seal everything up, and we're not going to give reasoning as to why. And then that basically allowed Jesse Smollett to stand up in front of a microphone and say, you know what, I'm vindicated, I was right all along.
No, that's not what it does.
Yeah, but
yes, it does, because you need to stand up and say, we had enough to convict him on every one of these counts. We chose not to because that's in the best interest of the law.
Yeah, but Steve, I think you may be conflating the outrage over the response versus the outrage over the crime. Because and let's go back to OJ for a second. Don't nobody in this room give a damn about OJ. OJ can go to hell too. The point is that the justice system that people point to as being fair and just delivered its response. And so it's not it now for some reason, and we suspect it's because he's a black man.
Yeah, because
that's the problem.
Where was the
Jesse can go to hell? I don't care about what he did.
Yeah, where was the outrage? Similar outrage from non-people of color over Laquan McDonald. There weren't. Not,
but that's what you on this show always tell people was, let's not do the whatabouts. What about the other case? Let's stick to this.
That's a good point.
That's a good point.
And the other cases are absolutely something that need to be addressed. But we don't say Jesse Smollett gets a pass because Laquan McDonald's shooting was a horrific.
We didn't say that.
We don't say that, though. We're not saying that.
No, well, then why introduce it into the discussion?
Because the same governing.
We didn't introduce it in a manner of what about. We gave our opinion on how we felt about it, but it's not a what about.
No. Let me clean this up, Steve, because I know what you're talking about. We did make a comparison because of the bodies, meaning the people who are responsible for this and their response. Eric, I'm not going to quote because I don't remember exactly, but Eric said, isn't it interesting how Rahm is all bent out of shape now, but he wasn't bent out of shape over something he had equal purview over, which was Laquan McDonald's initial findings. That's what Eric said. That's a dotted line that I'm willing to make because it's real. That actually happened. Those are similar. That's the same person that had jurisdiction over how those cases were handled, and he responded differently. So it's not a what about there.
And it's not that he shouldn't be outraged about Jesse Smollett. It's about he should have been outraged about Laquan.
And he wasn't. And that's
exactly. But that again takes us away from the Smollett case and says, let's talk about.
No. It's about.
We always do that though. We always say, well, we don't want to talk about the case at hand.
Right.
The case at hand for us is still Laquan McDonald because you got cops out there who tried to hide evidence.
And it's
who
about
ran free.
And the overarching subject matter is justice in the city of Chicago for people of color. These two things they may be silos in terms of the case, but the overarching connective tissue is justice for black people in the city of Chicago.
Yep.
That's why.
Right, exactly. And in that vein, is it not reasonable to argue that when someone such as this, who is a celebrity, a person of influence and power, is let off, that it does damage? Because you see, on all the right-wing outlets, there are already calls saying that, you know what, the claims that the hate crimes are up in this country, no, that's a Smollett, as it's been already determined that it's some sort of a verb, or an adjective.
That's Chicago police
damage. That damage is real.
Chicago police did that.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. The Chicago police did that. When they got on TV, did that press conference and tried to try this case in the media, they did this. Yeah. So this isn't about just dropping the case and he gets to walk free.
And the other part about this, Steve, this is the one thing that as a supporter of what we do, and we appreciate your commentary on this, this is what frustrates the hell out of black people, is that once again, we've got to we have to be Atlas and carry the ball and not shrug when it comes to how something that was probably jacked up and how it was handled, to be completely candid with you. But we got to carry the ball. We're the ones that got to make it right. We're the ones that got to be the better bodies and the smarter minds and say, okay, well, in this. No, Steve, that's the part that we want white America to slow down and say, you know what? They both are wrong. They both are bad. And we all got to do better. Rather than saying.
But that's exactly the point that I'm making.
But you're making it. But Steve, let me help you out on this one. You're making it. I hear what you're saying. And you're making it with the little tinge of, we need to do better in making sure that we talk about it the right way. And black people are tired of that. I'm just telling you. We're tired of having
I'm not offering any racial dimension to it. I'm saying that all people need to objectively view all cases independent of one another and say, you know what, the Laquan McDonald shooting is an example of the kind of reform that we are desperately in need of in this city, and the kind of terrible treatment that the communities of color and poor communities in the city have been subject to for decades. Now, and then at the same time, I can say to myself, in the Smollett case, because in the worst possible regimes in the world, there's still crimes that go on, real crimes by real people. As Stalin had a horrible regime, there were still people who murdered and raped in Stalin's regime. And therefore, you can't say that every single one of those people is somehow the victim of some sort of a systemic process that tried to erroneously convict them. No, there actually were rapists and murderers. And in this case, Jussie Smollett committed a crime, and the system, I think, there was a degree to which the system gave him deference because of his celebrity status.
I don't think.
And that's what people take issue. And that's what people take issue with, because
no, Steve.
Yeah, no. I don't think it was deference, though, man. I think I think that they screwed up the case. But I agree with most of what you said, except the part.
Screw up? What part did they screw up?
Apparently,
is not going to stand up.
Well, from what we're hearing, there was a chain of custody issue with the police.
Thank you. But there were specific aspects, Steve, of the aspects of the evidence. There were specific aspects. No, if you would listen for just a second. The law in this case, there were specific aspects of the evidence and testimony presented to the office that would have made securing the conviction for Smollett uncertain. Specifically, the chain of custody.
The legal community are still waiting to hear what those are.
You know what? If you're not going to listen, Steve, this conversation is over.
So
I'm asking for specifics.
But Steve.
Okay. I'll tell you what. We'll share the specifics with you as we go on. But I got to tell you this though: the whole notion of all people need to do this, I don't agree.
I don't agree with that at all.
It's white people and the power structure needs to do better. Black folks understand.
And whether or not you believe you were offering any racial connotations, dude, you were.
Stephen, let me help you out with one last piece on this. I remember you are one of our avid supporters, and we appreciate all of our supporters.
Absolutely.
But I will tell you, because I have a really stupid good memory, you did not show this outrage and 11 minutes and 30 seconds of what the city of Chicago should be doing when the Laquan McDonald verdict came down.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't. Not to this extent.
I was at the University of Chicago and Northwestern.
I mean, okay.
We're talking about on our show, when you called our show.
I sat on panels. I sat on I was part of symposiums. I was there. You know, it didn't take just a call to a radio station. We were there talking about this, and had been there talking about this.
But do you see?
Okay. So I get it. I'll give you that. But the point is, they're related. They are related. And we're looking not for one outrage to be reduced. We're looking for both outrages to be up.
That's all we're looking for. Exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, but then we're talking about the same thing. That's exactly what I'm making.
Okay, then we agree then.
Then we're good. Then we made our way home.
Yeah. Steve, I appreciate it, man. Thanks as always, man.
Thanks,
You bet.
Steve.
I like robust conversation, right?
Yeah.
I like robust conversation.
Well, especially with people that you tend to agree with.
Yeah.
Because that makes sure that you're not just.
It makes it all tight. It tightens it up a little bit.
It does.
You got to be ready for that.
Yep.
Yeah. So the number is 773-763-9278. Hit these phones when we come back, y'all. Stay tuned for more of the family meeting.
So good, so right, so right.
This is Dr. Sharon Bethia. I'm Associate Professor at Northeastern Illinois University and the coordinator of the African American Studies program. Keep listening to the family meeting.
Girl, please listen.
Identity theft occurs when someone gains access to your personally identifiable information and uses it without your knowledge. Stolen information can include your social security number, credit card numbers, email login information, driver's license number, and much more. Once someone begins exploiting your identity, there are literally hundreds of ways they can affect your finances, medical coverage, and yes, even government records. Fight back against identity theft with Identity Guard. Identity Guard monitors your valuable credit and identity information with alerts that can help you respond quickly if certain changes indicating fraudulent activity are detected. Identity Guard includes $1 million identity theft insurance and lost wallet protection and more. Protect your ID for as little as $6 per month. Yes, $6 per month by visiting lookaftermyid.com. That's lookaftermyid.com to securely sign up for Identity Guard. Do it today.
Mom, Dad, let's talk. It seems like only yesterday your parents were offering you advice, but now you could be in a position to help them. Do they have a plan? How would they handle a long-term care event? Are they prepared emotionally and financially for the future? Starting those conversations can be challenging. Call Polaris Insurance Agency and we'll send you the Let's Talk guide free of charge. Call 888-355-7154. Again, 888-355-7154.
Rock the house, y'all.
You know what I mean.
This is Steve Casey, the MacArthur Foundation. Welcome back to the family meeting.
That wasn't ready for that. Lisa was ready.
Yeah, that was pretty tight. I didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
I didn't see it coming, E.
There it is.
Wow. We got a lot of calls, man. We need to.
Yeah. Let's who's next? Let me get my man Dave calling from Sacramento here. Sacramento, California. Dave, what's up, man?
How you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Pretty good. Happy Sunday on a beautiful 75 degrees in California.
Okay, why you got to bring that up, man?
So it's 45 here, man. So what?
Is it that cool?
It got up to 42. I'm sorry, 40, not 45, 42.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Go.
This has been heavy on my heart. There's two things, okay? I know I'll take my answer off the air. But the first one, I really saw the Bill Maher show with that guy Pete, the mayor of Indiana.
Buttigieg.
You know, Buttigieg. If I'm sorry if I cannot pronounce it correctly. I know he's married to his husband, and I thought he was fantastic. Answered all the questions, very articulated, very great. I'm still wavering who I'm going to vote for, whether the guy from Texas, the one I like. But I think I'm leaning more towards Pete as the mayor. You know, I think even though he's great and very articulating, I think he's awesome. Second thing, I'll take my answer off the air, and this has been really heavy on my heart. What constitutes, and I know this is kind of like off, throwing this kind of like off gear. What constitutes harassment in the workplace? Is it calling somebody fat, or calling somebody, or basically confronting somebody and pointing their finger between their eyes and standing up against them and, going face to face, and the other person doesn't do anything, but the person gets in their face, or calling somebody names that is the most nastiest things that you would say to somebody. What constitutes harassment in the workplace? Because I don't know why companies in California, because you're in California, you're too stupid as a company if you can't figure it out that you got these people that harasses people in the company, and they need to stop putting up with these kind of people. First thing, the company could be liable. Second thing, you know, the other thing that really
Did something happen, Dave? Did something happen?
Well, you know, the fact is it's been heavy. I know I'm going to be dealt with tomorrow, but it's not so much that, you know, it's the way it was said. And then second of all, you know, the thing about it is that I'm a manager.
So what is it being alleged that you did, Dave?
Well, the only thing that I got little ticked off was I came in because the deposit was supposed to go to the corporate office. It never did, and the person I gave it to, who I thought has been there for about 50 years since the day of the company actually started, which I highly respect. And I think I got a little mad. Instead of taking the deposit straight to corporate, he basically took it off. He basically took it somewhere. You know, he took it somewhere else where it was such an emergency. You know, I work for a major towing company in California. I'm the manager there.
Did the deposit eventually make it to the bank?
It made it the next day, but we have a lot of invoices that needs to still get billed.
I got what you're saying, and so there was a disruption in business, or potentially could have been.
It kind of got blown in proportion, and it kind of got blown in proportion, and basically a big guy, you know, got in my face, got out of his chair, said, "Don't you ever talk to him like that?" And I basically I wasn't harsh for him to get out of his seat. I must have said something that made him get out of his seat, but he basically pointed his finger right between my eyes, and I just stood there. I didn't want to do anything because, you know, I used to work in HR.
Well, that's intimidation. I don't know that would be harassment, but that would be intimidation.
No, of course not.
Well, you probably
and using threatening manners.
That's a hostile work environment.
Yeah, hostile. Yeah.
So you probably it
was very hostile, and I thought he was really going to hit me because the guy's pretty big. And then he's been there for a long time, and then the other person stood up and started calling some major, huge profanity. You know, dropping the F-bomb.
To you?
Yes, towards me, and using my mother. Oh. You know what that means, right? And using my mother involved in the F-bomb.
So what happened? What did you do?
Let me tell you how to play that, man.
Yeah.
Let me tell you how to play that. Play it, just play it straight, man.
Yeah.
Play it all the way straight. If you didn't do anything wrong and you're convinced of that, just play it straight, man. Don't embellish.
Absolutely.
Don't add to anything.
Tell exactly what you said and did, and
and don't answer any questions that weren't asked of you.
Exactly.
And
less is more.
What you might want to do, Dave, and then we'll let you go.
I wrote a statement. By the way. I wrote a statement.
Did you make notes of everything that took place?
Okay. I basically what I did is I wrote the time, the date, and when it occurred, and everything that occurred.
Any surveillance? Any surveillance cameras that would show him in your face pointing and threatening?
Well, the cameras was never installed. They didn't have the cameras, and they were never installed.
Yeah, well, dude, hold your statement until you have to use it, man.
Yeah.
Don't give them any information. You have to.
I typed both the statements. I did type both the statements, but my question, to make a long story short, I did immediately tell the vice president's wife what he called me immediately, right after he called me those names. You know, I don't know if I can say.
No,
you can't.
No. He called me a blank moron. He gave me a blank moron.
Okay.
You know what that means?
Mm-hmm.
He called me a blank moron, and then he called me. My mother was.
Yeah, man. But listen, don't lament. Don't lament the details of what happened.
Exactly.
It fits in the category of harassment in a hostile work environment. You only answer questions that I've asked of you, and you don't give them any information that you don't need to give them.
Yeah.
Don't give them the statement unless you think it's warranted.
Yeah.
Just play it straight, man.
Absolutely. If they want me to read the statement that I wrote, I typed the statement very nicely done. It was in written
What part
form
of did he just say? Did you just not hear what Eric said?
No statement yet.
No statement. Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
No.
Period.
Just answer the questions, play it straight, but no statement.
There's no but. If you say but, you're not listening. Sorry.
Play straight, man.
I understand.
Okay.
Play straight, man.
Yeah.
Don't and most importantly, man, don't worry about it. Because if you worry about it and you lose sleep, then you're not able to control yourself when it's time to talk about it. Get some rest. Don't worry about it. Play it straight, man.
Yeah.
All right.
That's all you can do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Dave.
But they, by the way, they did want the person, the HR, the vice president's wife, still wants a statement, so I had to type one up just in case. So
Okay, good. Just in case is good. That's good.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Dave.
Good luck, Dave.
Thank you so much for your support. report.
You bet,
Yeah.
man.
All right,
I'll
man.
let you know what transpired next
Please
week.
do.
Please do.
I will.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Take care.
Please.
All right, bye.
Let's get Edward. He's calling him regarding Uncle Joe Biden, who's like 90 now. Is Joe like
You
90?
know what?
Joe,
Oh my God! Yeah, him. You know him and his creepy personality. He's kind of like the Democratic version of Donald Trump. And this Beto guy,
careful.
is ridiculous too because I'm Latino, so obviously I can see through his real name, which is Robert Francis, which is obviously has an Irish background.
Edward, come on now.
Edward,
You're losing
come
us.
on,
You're losing
man.
us, man. We don't do that.
Hillary. How about Hillary trying to talk?
Oh, Lord
Real
Jesus.
impressed.
Here we
I'm
go.
really impressed.
Here we go.
All right, man.
It's one of them calls, y'all.
Yep.
Yeah, keep going, man. Got any more in you? Got any more? You been practicing these or what?
That's about as bad as it's cold as hell.
He hung up on himself.
Yeah, just Jesus.
All right, I want to hear from Thurgood, though, man. I'm sure
Yeah,
Thurgood's
let's
got something to share.
talk to Thurgood.
Thurgood's a smart dude, man. He's a book-reading dude.
Good day. Great show as always. I listen all the time. Just really felt compelled to call in regard the Kim Foxx matter. And I'll draw a long line and I'll contrast. We're talking about the conduct of the Office of the State's Attorney. Well before Laquan McDonald, there was the unfortunate episode involving Commander Burge. And in my mind, without question, one of the most despicable, outrageous, not single act, but systematic act over several years, torturing of black men into confessions. Commander Burge was a military veteran. He learned his craft in Vietnam, attaching electrical probes to genitalia, beating people, et cetera, et cetera. Mr. Daley, the state's attorney at that time, failed to prosecute him and let the statute of limitations ran. It was well known. People were that this was going on. He let the statute of limitations run. It gets better. He was elected mayor, and in fact, there was a civil lawsuit pending against him. He was twice elected mayor, and right on the verge of him having to give testimony in the Burge case in regarding the abuses and his failure to act, he resigns. And so, mind you, where was the outrage from the office of police, of the mayor, whomever, in terms of the $500 million with a B we've paid out in wrongful police convictions and police abuse? And so, likewise, again, I want you to ponder this. Maybe I ran too fast. Mayor Daley was reelected, notwithstanding the public knowing that he let the statute of limitations blow and didn't prosecute him, and his complicity, notwithstanding that, he was reelected mayor at least twice. It also comes to mind that Commander Burge was voted a pension. After the feds convicted him for violation of civil rights, he did some country club time. He was voted a pension by the Chicago Pension Board. Do you understand that?
Oh, sure.
A man who had his own hand tortured and ignored the screams and the blood of men and violated their civil rights and resulted in millions of dollars being paid out. Where was the outrage about that? So when these, with all due respect to my progressive brothers or my conservative brothers calling in and pointing this finger, you must be out of your cotton-picking mind.
All right, man.
Go on, Thurgood. That's
of the African-American community in this regard. The audacity, the nerve, the unmitigated gall of you to talk about injustice in the justice system. You better go somewhere and sit down, okay? Because as we speak, you cannot go to 26 in California without seeing just black and brown over there. So apparently the white citizens of Cook County are incapable of domestic violence. They're incapable of traffic violations, incapable of any sort of drug violations. None of that is happening. It's just black and brown. So with all due respect, I respectfully, I defend Kim Foxx. He executed her discretion, appropriately so, to not prosecute a first-time offender under these circumstances.
Exactly.
Yeah, and we need to make sure come election time, you get out and support Kim Foxx.
Yeah, exactly.
In fact, we're going to get her on here with us just to make sure we give her we give her the family meeting bump.
Bingo. That's right.
Thank you,
Thanks, Thurgood. Have a great
man.
week.
Have a good one, bro. We got to catch up too, man.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Do that.
My man, Thurgood.
Yeah. Next.
Let's get Marty.
No, we're next, man. We're going Tressa's turn now.
Yeah, so I know we're quickly going, but that's what needs to be said, unfiltered. What he just said.
Loved it.
Yeah,
Everything
apologies.
he said.
No
That's the thing, though. That's the thing about liberals/Democrats, that progressives.
Yep.
You don't really realize how you're participating in what is harming our people.
Nope.
As much as I'm a good one, I have black friends, all that kind of, like Bernie used to say, bull.
Yeah.
That's it goes deeper than that, man.
Yep.
It's so much deeper than that, and they don't realize it.
And that's the part that we struggle with, and we want them to understand. Would you please stop taking this defensive, I got black friends.
And we can hear it.
Yeah.
I don't care the words that are coming out your mouth. We still hear the overtones that you think you're not saying.
That's why I said what I said about they want us to be Atlas Shrugged.
It's not participating in racist behavior.
Yes.
It's not participating in fighting racist behavior.
Thank you.
And let me tell you, I say it all the time. If you want instructions on how to help, every little dollar you spend, find a black business.
Yep.
And spend it there.
And stop
on
saying,
purpose.
How do I find one? Go on the damn internet. That's easy to
Call
find.
your boy. Send me an email. I got you.
We got you right here.
I got you. I can find you one. Do that. Do that.
Got 3 of them.
Do
in the
something.
room.
It's not about what you don't do. It's about what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
In case y'all don't think you touched the nerve on Eric, I think you touched the nerve.
Touch one.
773-763-9278. You know, by the way, Paul, Mike, Mark, another Paul,
Michelle,
and Adrian. All you guys are next. Stay tuned for more of the Family Meeting.
This is Andre Davis. Stay tuned for more of the Family Meeting Radio Show.
A Single K plan is a 401k plan designed especially for business owners and immediate family, regardless if they are incorporated or not. Single Ks offer both employer and employee contributions and in many cases have no setup fee or annual plan administrative charges. Single Ks are simple to administer with no government reporting required. Most importantly, this plan allows employees to access their savings via hardship withdrawals or loans. Visit our website at polarisadvice.com or call us about your business or organization's retirement plan at 312-951-2606 or email us at polarisadvice.com. That's 312-951-2606 or email us at polarisadvice.com. Polaris provides empowering advice for everyone.
Securities offered through Lion Street Financial LLC, member FINRA, and SIPC investment advisor services offered through Lion Street Advisors LLC, registered investment advisors. Polaris Wealth Management and Lion Street Financial are not affiliated.
The name of my business is Mrs. Indecent Exposure. We are an intimate aromatherapy, massage, bath, and body shop. We have the best aromatherapy, bath, and skincare products available. You can find us in Chicago and on the World Wide Web. We're located at 6916 West North Avenue in Chicago, 3 blocks east of Harlem Avenue. 773-417-3223. Mrs. Indecent Exposure, MRSNDEXPO.com.
This is Miss Lady B, La Boricua. Now it's time for the Family Meeting News.
I'm Teresa McDonald, and this is Real News from Real Research presented by the Family Meeting. Duke University, who barely escaped elimination the other night against Virginia Tech, has agreed to pay $112 million to the U.S. government for scientific research misconduct, the Department of Justice announced in a press release on Monday. The fine comes as a result of the university falsifying research on federal grants between 2006 and 2018. Duke knowingly submitted and caused to be submitted claims to the National Institute of Health and to the EPA that contained falsified or fabricated data or statements in 30 grants, causing them to pay out grants funds that they otherwise would not have. The Department of Justice said that Duke had received millions by the time the background and the extent of the fraud that the university had engaged in against the government became known. Not Duke. Not Duke. Anyway, And finally, y'all listen to this. You get a kick out of this. Savannah, Georgia, Mayor Eddie DeLoach is seeking re-election this fall. He became the first white mayor in Savannah in 20 years after winning the 2015 campaign. This week, organizers of a meeting to discuss the upcoming mayoral race barred reporters from attending unless they were African Americans. The Wednesday meeting at a church in Savannah was
blacks only sign up.
Listen, the Wednesday meeting at the church in Savannah was held to try to unite the city's black community behind a single candidate for mayor in the November 5th election. Signs at the front door said black press only. White reporters were denied entry while at least 2 black reporters and the publisher of a local African-American newspaper were allowed inside. Television cameras and recording devices were also prohibited. Am I the only one wondering how those white reporters felt when they read that sign? Oh my God. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm taking a little too much pleasure in this. Just a little too much. Visit our website, tfmradioshow.com, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for archived audio and video of the broadcast, as well as our music playlist. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at TFM Radio Show. The news today is brought to you by Identity Guard. Over 15 million Americans each year fall victim to identity theft. Protect yourself and everything you work so hard to build for as little as $6 per month. Visit lookaftermyid.com for more information and sign up. That's lookaftermyid.com. Do it today. I'm Teresa McDonald, and this has been your real news from real research, giving you real results. Eric, Richard, and myself, we'll be right back with more of the family meeting.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter.
A basic and essential part of any financial plan is savings. Most of whatever cash you have will be there because you put it there, not necessarily because of some fancy investment. Now with Save and Plan, Polaris has introduced a way for you to get empowering financial advice. Save and Plan is simple. Just sign up to save on a systematic monthly basis directly from your account and gain access to a planner and our planning services. Once you sign up to save, Polaris will help you develop a customized financial plan and give you a real person to speak with. Your dedicated planner is just an email or phone call away. Save and Plan offers empowering advice for everyone. Visit us at polarisadvice.com and call us today at 312-951-2606 or email us at polarisadvice.com. That's 312-951-2606 or email us at polarisadvice.com. Save and Plan, empowering advice for everyone.
Securities offered through Lion Street Financial LLC, member FINRA, and SIPC Investment Advisor Services offered through Lion Street Advisors LLC, registered investment advisors. Polaris Wealth Management and Lion Street Financial are not affiliated.
Hey Chicago, it's time for you to make a difference in a child's life. AARP Foundation Corps is looking for volunteers to help kindergarten to 3rd graders read. You can do it. Here's how you can register. Call 877-926-8300. That's 877-926-8300. And reference AARP Foundation Experience Corps or visit www.aarp.org/eatchicago. It's time for you to help a child read.
Yes. Little Caesar. The bitch, please. Check it. Yo, I be buying V's, so all my girls be eyeing C's. Coming backstage, dying to get pleased. You got me, I rock the Versace and linen. While you spotting, grinning with a bunch of foxy women. While you speedball with cars, that's the valid. I get clothes custom made from a stylist. Cruise in my Lexus land with no malice. While you walk the street until your feet get callous. Take you on the natural high like a pallet. It be all good, toss your clothes like a salad. When it's all over, put your your vote in my ballot. It's my diner, I'm Mel and you're Alice. Spend the night and look to Steve's palace. It be all good as long as you don't act childish. While you standing there with the crisp in your cup, the worst come to worst, keep this on the hush.
Hey, this is Stephanie Miller. Be sure to tune in to my show Monday through Friday, 8 to 11 a.m. But right now, keep listening to The Family Meeting on Chicago's Progressive Talk, WCPT, AM and FM.
I had to play the remix of that Lil' Kim joint, man, because everything Lil' Kim makes you can't play on the radio.
No. True. Oh, no.
You can,
man.
just
I'm
one
gonna need
time.
to talk to her something, man, about her language, man. Lil' Kim can't go, man. But that's my jam, though. Yeah, so the number 773-763-9278. I'm tired as hell, man.
It's all right.
Houston, Nashville, Raleigh, Durham, Danville, Virginia.
Elizabeth
City, North Carolina. We drove to Norfolk from there, flew to D.C., and drove to Dover, Delaware, through D.C. traffic and rush hour.
Barnstorming. Literally. Literally.
Money, man.
Barnstorming.
How did he like Norfolk?
We just went to the airport in Norfolk.
Oh, okay. I thought he was going to
Did you go down to the Naval Yard or anything like that?
No, man.
No, crazy. I know.
Did they have Virginia and Virginia Tech fever over there? Because they were both still in the NCAA tournament
We're doing
until.
black schools. We didn't care nothing about this.
I said, did they have the fever over there? Ain't
How
nobody
would we
said
know if we the black schools? Ain't no black schools got no fever over the tournament.
For real?
No, man.
They can't even support.
Ain't none of them in the tournament.
They can't even support.
No, I ain't interested in that stuff, man. We was trying to get our little groove on, man.
All right.
Black schools, man. That's what we did. HBCUs, man. It's amazing. In case anybody listening wants to send their children for aviation programs, these HBCUs have terrific aviation programs.
Yeah, because we created some of the best pilots.
Yeah.
Incidentally.
Delaware State, which was probably Malcolm's first choice right now in Dover, Delaware, they have 11 planes right now. By next year, they'll have 21 planes that they own.
Nice.
Yeah. Texas Southern didn't own no planes. They rent their planes.
Yeah, wow.
Elizabeth City had 8,
Sometimes it's better to rent.
In this case, not so much.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because it's less control.
You
over.
can't manage the maintenance and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually
But you don't
easier.
incur the cost of managing the maintenance and everything, too.
Okay, but the ultimate cost, come on now.
No, you do. 'Cause you have to pay to use the plane, and you have to pay a separate fee for the maintenance either way. So you're paying for maintenance either way.
You can't write off the cost of the rental.
But you can't control the utilization when you don't own it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. They're not exclusively for them. They
They're
just
supposed
rent
to
a
be,
plane.
but if for some reason the kids aren't using it, this company's inclined to rent it elsewhere.
Gotcha.
They control the planes in that case.
Okay,
But,
so I guess in this case
yeah.
it would be better to own.
Yeah, I like Delaware State. If you're thinking about Delaware State's
It's a
actually
nice
pretty
spot.
tight.
It's a good spot to be, too. I mean,
Yeah, 2 hours from Philly, 2
Yeah.
hours from Baltimore, 2 hours from D.C., 2.5 hours from his brother.
Yep, it's perfect.
I like Delaware State, fam. Yeah.
It's a good
And so we had a little game he and I played called, I shouldn't say this.
Describe the game, don't say the name.
Oh, wait. This y'all two know about this?
No.
Yeah, you don't know.
No.
I don't know.
No, I ain't
Yes, you
telling,
do. Yes, you do.
I ain't telling nothing about it. This is the first time he heard about it. First time she heard about it today.
That's why I just said, just describe the game, because I was trying to help him through
it was
that.
a female heat check. We called it a female heat check.
Yeah, see? I had no clue about
So we wanted
that.
to check the talent on campus to see how it matched up. And so it went from Big Greasy
to
Hot Nasty.
Okay. And everything in the middle.
Boo.
See?
Boo.
Fellas thing. We understand.
No,
okay. Heat check. Talent.
Boo.
Nothing
For
wrong.
real.
I had no clue.
For real.
Right.
Yeah, well,
I had no clue, but I can dive
here's
into
the
the pool
thing.
quickly.
Here's the thing.
And I dove in.
We don't care what y'all like. It's me. It's me.
For real.
Not on that
Wait.
subject.
We don't care.
Now, I don't care about you knowing now. Now I'm on to something
didn't
else.
know. I didn't tell
Whether he
him.
knew or not, I'm on to something else now. You for real did that, E?
Heat check. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
For real?
Yes, he was telling me about it on the way.
Yeah. He's going to be an 18-year-old boy. What else you think is on his mind?
And sometimes, from a male perspective, it's better to get out in front of that
You know what?
and deal with it.
I have seriously lost.
No, you haven't.
Yes, I did. I swear to God, y'all were up here today when I walked in. How many times do I tell y'all how I'm not liking you two right now?
All right,
at
fine.
all. At all.
It's not Richard.
You would look. I get.
He agreed with him.
I get it.
I'm not liking you two right now, and let's not talk about it no more.
You can if you'd like. You can.
I'm not.
I'm
like
I'm going to take it back. Ain't like I'm going to do that. Care about that, man. What do you think is on an 18-year-old boy?
My father did a similar version of that with me. And it wasn't on college tour, but we did it. He was like, so what do you think?
Heat
He didn't call it a heat check. He called it something else, but, you know.
For real?
Yeah.
I can't with y'all today.
Okay.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah, absolutely. I tell you what, don't then. Don't. I can tell you this. It would have still happened whether I told you or not. It would have still happened. Even if it wasn't me doing it. Malcolm would have been doing it.
Or he would have done it with one of his guys.
Yeah, he would have walked away from a campus and said, no, all the girls there was ugly. I ain't trying to go there. He would have done that. He might have said it. He didn't do that. That's what you do when you're 18.
Yeah, and then you improve.
Yeah. Or you learn to not say it out loud.
We have Paul in Seattle on line one. Can somebody please
man? See how
take
she
the
gonna
phone
do this,
call?
man? No, you know what? I'm gonna get Mark. You want to call? I'm gonna get Mark first. Hey, Mark, what's up, man?
Family.
What's up, man?
How you all doing?
Fantastic. How you doing?
All right. I'm a little sad.
Why?
I'm a little sad. So last week you all were talking about you all talk about education a lot. This week I'm in a position like Betsy DeVos needs to be tried seriously for incompetence. To suggest that
you think she's the only one?
No. Not the only one. But the leading for this week that her department would consider zeroing out funds for the Special Olympics. Man,
that wasn't her. She was
man, but
scapegoat.
listen,
That wasn't even her.
you couldn't possibly. You smarter than that to have. You couldn't have expected anything different than something like that.
No, but when you stand up and put your face in front of it, then you should get the smackdown.
Yeah, but why are you hurt by that, man? Didn't you expect that?
There's a level of low that I just think people would pull up before they get.
Nah, man.
That's kamikaze move. That's like,
dude, man, you're doing it to yourself, man. Let me tell you this, man. You are like a lot of people. You can't believe how incredibly horrible these people are. You're
because I can't get there.
No, you're high-minded. You think this country has some level of decency buried deep down, and there are people, lots of them, who saw this before they elected that imbecile to the White House, who are all for that.
Well, I know there are many.
Oh man!
But I'm not one of the many.
No, you're not. But you can't allow yourself to get there where you are because you see it happening. You have to know it's coming. These people,
tell
that's
me
how they are.
If let me hit you with a couple, and we're gonna move on.
Okay.
When you drain the swamp, you expose swamp creatures. Donald Trump is a master of exposing swamp creatures. It's only a leak if it's the truth. You can't leak a lie because then it's a lie. You can only leak it if it's the truth.
True.
Covfefe means go Pepe. I've said this to folks before, and they gave me this look, and then they looked again like, he said it in a tweet, never said it again. Covfefe means go Pepe.
Yeah. Hey, man.
Donald Trump is to the U.S. presidency as the moon is to the sun. Sun produces light, warmth, and energy, while the moon reflects light, is incredibly cold, and gives us little energy.
Well, Mark,
we revolve around the sun.
Well, Mark,
The moon
I'm
revolves around us.
gonna
Go
throw
ahead.
this. I'm gonna throw this out at you regarding 45 and the sun. He's going to soon reap the tragedy of Icarus.
Why would you think that? Why would you think that?
Why would I think that?
Yeah.
Because I've been saying that since the day after.
This dude's gonna die rich and happy, man.
Yeah.
He gonna die rich. He's been doing this for 50 years. He could, in order to die the way you've described, you have to care about something.
Actually, Icarus didn't. He cared about himself. That's why he looked at the sun and he burned and died. That's the story. So he didn't care about anything, and eventually it caught up with him. So that's just my assessment.
It never catches up with you if you don't care. I mean, the burning is catching up with you.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay, I hear you.
He only knows to look at himself. He puts everything out as if it doesn't affect him when it is really him that he's seeing. So when he expects to lock her up, he's looking at his own insufficiencies, like, I need to be locked up.
Yeah, the part that Eric often says, we get stupider talking about this fool because we all see it. We've known it. We've seen it for years before he came down the escalator and all that other crap.
Right.
We've seen it. So at this point, everybody has to stop waiting for Superman or Superwoman, be their own Superman or Superwoman, and get out and vote. Get out and talk to people. We, respectfully, Mark, we have to maintain our level of philosophical views on this and just get out and bring a baseball bat to the next election. Be ready to vote. Bring people to vote.
There's an election coming up next week.
I mean, that's what we have to do.
Yeah.
We cannot wait.
Everybody needs to vote.
Yeah. I mean, Eric,
they get heard.
The numbers of the elections in Chicago were terrible.
Yeah. They'll be terrible again this time.
Yeah, they will.
I'm convinced of that. But you can't allow yourself to get surprised or hurt or lose sleep over this. This is exactly who they are, and to a large extent, this is exactly who this country is.
Yeah.
And it's a reckoning that you hope they get.
We got to keep putting the light on it.
Well, I mean, we all see it, though. It's out in the open.
It's not that the light's not on it.
No,
They naked on purpose.
A lot of people, and I've run into this with few of my friends, that they think about it, but then they don't put it together. Like, we can do something about this when we go out and vote, because I still had some of my friends who would say, yeah, I'm going to try to get out there and vote. And I'm like,
so, Mark, let me help you out with this one, okay? Just hear this brutally cold. You shouldn't give a you-know-what. If they're not willing to get out and do their thing, you got to move on, because you're going to burn energy on people who aren't going to do anything. You need to find people who are willing to do something. If they're going to sit back and make excuses and, well,
kick
man,
rocks.
yeah,
Kick rocks.
Yeah, go kick rocks. Move on quickly. Turn on them. Walk away from them. If it's family.
Yeah, they ain't ready.
They're not ready.
Don't even waste your time.
Don't waste your time. Move to the next person. Find an open vessel that's willing to listen and move with you. You're wasting your energy, brother. I'm telling you that. I made that mistake.
And don't allow yourself to be surprised, because there's some really bad people here, and a lot of them are in charge.
that is true.
Yep.
Thank you, Mark.
Hey, man,
Thanks,
appreciate it,
Mark.
man.
Have a great week.
And lights get back on in Puerto Rico, then I'll settle down.
Okay. I'm going with you.
No, that's
All
right.
right, man.
All right, man.
All right.
All right. Let's get Paul. Paul, what's up, man? How's that weather?
No, this is Paul. Here.
Pretty good.
Oh, I'm
Where
sorry,
are you?
wrong Paul.
Oh, where are you, Paul?
This is Paul from Niles. I'm the Paul that's not.
Oh, the good Paul.
Oh, the other Paul.
Not 2,000 miles away.
What's going on, man?
Anyway, Kamala Harris, Beto O'Rourke, Kirsten Gillibrand, Amy Klobuchar, Elizabeth Warren, Cory Booker, Bernie Sanders, Tulsi Gabbard, Julian Castro, Jay Inslee, John Hickenlooper, John Delaney, Andrew Yang, Marianne Williamson, and that mayor of South Bend, Indiana, who is on Bill Maher, have all officially declared their desire to compete for the 2020 Democratic nomination for president. However, the candidate who's in the lead has not officially declared his candidacy. He keeps saying, maybe I'll run, maybe I won't. Joe Biden, it's time to either defecate or get off the pot. Now, here's a tip for all of you people who are running. Don't base your candidacy on how awful Trump is. Everybody knows how awful he is. It's more important to focus on your vision for the country. Tell people where you stand on issues near and dear to our hearts, like health care, immigration, climate change, foreign relations, taxes, and jobs. That's how you connect with people, and that will get you in the White House.
Good advice. I hope they listen to you, because they aren't listening so far.
Yeah, thanks,
I appreciate
Paul.
that, Paul. Thanks, man.
Yep.
Let's hope.
You bet, man. And I still don't get the attraction to your boy Beto. I don't really get it, man.
Well, we don't get it, but we know why it's there.
Yeah.
So I'm with you on that.
I mean, because I hear people say, well, he's a fresh face and all this, all the candidates are fresh faces except Biden.
Eric, they get to bury their heads in the sand because they got a white Superman.
I'm being facetious.
I know you are. Something that
you support Beto?
No.
Something that Paul said.
Why not? He's a fresh face.
Yeah, but he's not for me.
Well, the boy stopped waving his arms
Beto
around.
doesn't have any he doesn't have any game plan right now.
No.
He's just out there talking. So,
Can you get the boy to stop waving his hands around?
What's wrong with him waving his hands? He's animated. What's the deal?
Well, actually, it's nervous waving now. When you watch him, he's hitting every syllable.
Yeah.
It's nervous waving now.
Because what he's saying isn't coming from a place that he's convinced of. It is.
You watch him wave his arms around. It's not.
NLP.
If you're doing that in a speaking engagement, you do it for emphasis. He's doing it on every single syllable.
Yeah. Very true.
Now that's one thing I actually like about him, because he's actually walking people through what he's saying and helping you to pay attention.
Oh, that's walking the hand thing?
Yeah, that's walking people through what you're saying.
Okay. So circling back to what Paul said real quick. I wrote this down. You always
wait. We need a break, man.
Fine.
Get it in. He's got to get it in, don't he? Stay tuned for more of the Family Meeting.
Sometimes the rain, it makes me sad, and it's alright.
This is Attorney Darnell Lyles. We'd like for you to keep listening to the Family Meeting.
In the morning when I see the sun, I know I'm not the only one, and it's alright.
Make a smart financial move for retirement. Make your retirement money into an IRA. Schedule income. Support your dream. Explore investment options. Gain full control over your money. Give the money a chance for additional tax-deferred growth. How do you start? Call Polaris Wealth Management, the resource for IRA rollovers. Call 312-951-2606 or email us at polaris@polarisadvice.com. Polaris Wealth Management is the resource for IRA rollovers. That's 312-951-2606 or email us at polaris@polarisadvice.com. We help new retirees plan to protect their money. Securities offered through Line Street Financial LLC. Member FINRA and SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Line Street Advisors LLC. Polaris Wealth Management and Line Street are not affiliated.
Is your child prepared for the school year? Getting started early means a better chance of getting ahead. Masters Plus Tutoring in Homewood is the program that works. No matter what your child needs to prepare for the coming academic year, better study habits, organizational skills, or time management, Masters Plus can help. In fact, they tutor students in all subjects from kindergarten through college. Perhaps ACT, SAT, or Catholic high school prep are in order. Just visit mptutors.com and request a consultation. All sessions are taught by certified instructors in a private one-to-one setting to ensure each student receives individualized instruction. Whether your child is at a basic level or reaching for advanced placement, Masters Plus Tutoring can help. Call 708-798-8400 or visit them on the web at mptutors.com. Mention WCPT and you'll receive a $25 tuition credit with a purchase of 4 hours or more. That's mptutors.com.
Hi, I'm Elton Grant, Eric Grant's son. Welcome back to the Family Meeting.
My man Mig.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Road Dog.
Yes, you all were. That was cool to see those pictures.
Yeah.
I know I messed up
Go ahead,
before the
make
break.
your point, man.
All I was trying to say is you often talk about this, and we've been trying to advance this conversation for a long time. It is not just trying to go against 45. That's not a platform. People have to have a reason to vote. They got to be motivated. There needs to be, and if the candidates are going to come out and say, here's why you need to vote for me, what I want to do for the country.
Right. That's why I haven't jumped on the Beto O'Rourke.
Yeah, and so
bandwagon.
A reason to vote for, but you can at the same time say, because this thing over here is a damn fool.
Yeah, you can.
You can do both, but you need the 95% needs to be, here's why you vote for me.
But the people who support him aren't going to change their mind.
That's why it doesn't matter to try to,
Right, it doesn't matter to try to win them over.
So don't try to,
No, good point.
Let them be.
But you know, we're watching candidates now being asked questions that they're dodging.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, here's that question. Reparations.
Yes, sir.
Came up again. Everybody else get them, but the black folks don't get them.
Mm-hmm. The farmers are getting reparations, if y'all want to really break it down.
They certainly are.
Right now.
I think it's a fantastic idea to figure out some sort of compensation for those people. So now what they're doing, a lot of the people who are trying to oppose reparations, they're trying to say, well, you know, how do we figure out whose family was actually enslaved? Because we've got immigrants and, you know.
I can help them with that.
Forth. I know, but the point is the farther you go out, the harder it becomes to determine who actually were slaves. And I get that, too, but that ain't really the point.
No.
Because even the people who weren't slaves or didn't have family who were slaves.
More impacted.
Yeah, and are suffering the impact.
And not necessarily
the
indirectly because they didn't have ancestors that were slaves. They're suffering it directly.
Yeah.
So we don't need, that's another roadblock, another excuse, another reason to justify and spend money on a research study when we have all the documentation and whatnot.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
But, you know, that's the thing. That's the legislation that's on the floor now. I think it was Conyers who brings it up every year to research it. I'm interested to see the research.
Yeah.
I really am.
Isn't a couple, were there a couple of other Michigan congressional people that want to block it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it never goes anywhere.
Block the research.
But, you know, I can't understand why you would block research.
Yeah. This is a cancer to our society, so we invest money in.
I'd like to see more people make the business case for it than the benevolent case.
Right.
But that's me.
No, I'm with you on that. I agree.
Let me get Paul called the real Paul, the gooder Paul.
What's up, gooder Paul?
Yeah, the other Paul was good. This is the gooder Paul.
Yep.
I'm the 2,000 miles away, Paul.
That's right.
he made note of that.
Yes, he did.
Other Paul. It's one of those shows I don't even know what we're talking about. Like I don't know where to go here. So, by the way, no, I'm not a Beto fan, and I'll give you a reason. I don't like his Medicare for America plan. Is basically turning Medicare into a public option. That will break Medicare, and it will really fail.
Yeah, because it's not the funding's not really there.
Well, you can't. This is what people don't understand. People didn't come out in 2010 to support Barack Obama because it wasn't going to be any public option in Obamacare. Well, a public option would have failed by now, and it would have cast a very bad light upon the very different concept of single payer. But because it would have all been considered government health care. I mean, even Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act is considered government health care. What's wrong with Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act is it's still the same old damn private insurance.
Yep.
It didn't change anything other than try to get people into that market.
Yep.
The problem is that market is going to break. It's unsustainable. And so if you had a public option, which would be taxpayer supported, would be requiring more and more tax dollars, just like premiums are going up for private insurance, and it would have been the one pointed at saying, look, see, it's failing because it's costing more and more tax dollars. Let's get rid of it. See, single payer doesn't work. And that's what Beta's program of making Medicare a public, basically a public option would do. So that's why I'm not supporting him. And
yeah, but Paul, but before you do that, though, isn't it fair to say that it doesn't really matter as much the details of what these people propose as it is the higher level concept? Because none of these things actually come to fruition. It's always kind of hammered out in sausage-making way in the legislative process. So I agree with you. I don't necessarily like it, but I also don't like the Medicare for All that Bernie proposes, but I think some mashup of both could work.
The higher or the lower concept. The lower concept said, I alone will be the one that can fix it. I mean, you got. So what I'm on the board with is that I don't need no damn Mueller report to tell me what I'm looking at.
Exactly.
Right? This guy is. I mean, have you ever noticed how much threatening language he uses?
Yeah, to be such a big punk too. By the way,
in the grocery store parking lot, he'd be arrested. If you don't, if you don't. First, he threatens to declare a national. How long did he threaten to declare a national emergency? Months, right? Now he's threatening to close the border. All he does is threaten, because his base likes tough talk and threatening. It's all about authoritarianism, And you talk about, one of the callers was talking about, the Special Olympics, and I thought, this is an opportunity that he doesn't get. For instance, instead of coming out and saying, Betsy DeVos wanted to cut Special Olympics, instead of coming out and saying, he said, IQ 45 says, I'm overriding my people. Well, how about this? Here's how about this? How about if you came out and said, we're going to be increasing Special Olympics funding by 50%.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be a puny $8 million. But it sounds really good. See, he doesn't even know how to do that.
Right.
He doesn't even know how to do that, to use a percentage and say, boy, that. Or you could say we're increasing it by 100%, and that's $17 million. He doesn't even know how to do that because it's all about we're going to cut. And I've heard people talking about on the radio, some of these supporters of his saying, well, you need to do this. You need to start making people suffer. Some people, you need to know, because there's too many people getting away with too much. I think that's kind of where his support goes.
Those Special Olympic athletes are getting away with a whole bunch, aren't they?
Criticize the details of the plan. How can we talk? I mean, because if Bernie says Medicare for all and Beto says Medicare for America, I have to go with the distinction. I have to make some kind of distinction. I don't necessarily agree with the way Bernie's going to do it either. What I would do is, and I was it a caller here on maybe last week who was saying you should lower the Medicare age to 60, and then let people, and then make it also go birth to 5, and make that an option. But I would say this.
You can't parse it like that. It doesn't work for actuarials. The actuarial numbers don't work out when you do it that way.
I would make it birth to 18. Because who's cheaper to cover? Kids.
Well, that depends, because early in life, you've got a lot more doctor's visits in the birthing process. I mean, you could argue, you're right, the older people run the bills, the end-of-life bills are incredibly high. I get you there. But the point is to offset all of the costs for everybody. So if you start peeling out parts of the population because they're inexpensive, then you're working against the actuarial tables.
And you're losing the power of the law of large numbers across the board.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that. But if it had to be done that way, if it had to be, so in other words, I can't say just keep lowering it. I don't see a good option in just.
Yeah, but the problem you got is that a person turns age 19, all of a sudden their premium gets incredibly high. And now what do you do?
That's why I would my idea would say birth to 18 and have an incentive to continue in the system.
Yeah, but it's still expensive. That pool of people from 19 and beyond is still going to be expensive.
Yeah, and it leaves it open to interpretation.
You got to have the 0 to 18s in the pool to drag down the rates for the people above age 18, so that it averages out.
Yeah,
there's no way around it. It's just the law of large numbers. You can't get around it.
Well, the one law of large numbers that we have now is that our large numbers are getting bigger and bigger.
They are.
In other words, they say we can't afford Medicare for all, but if we're spending at about $3.8 trillion this year, and it's growing at a rate, and it has been since 1970. Our healthcare bill has been national healthcare bill has been growing at add 2% of GDP every year. That's what the curve looks like.
Right.
So at this point, when our GDP is about $20 trillion, you can start adding $400 billion every year now.
And you got to add 10 to 20% profit on top of that for the insurance companies.
Yep.
That's right. And so to cut that out, that's where our savings are. And then the other thing is, if you got all these insurance companies, and this is what my friend from Canada tells me, you guys have so many systems, that's why you don't have any standardized costs.
Yeah.
There's no real cost. It depends on who's the payer.
Yep.
That's right. Yeah,
if the payer, and if you have the concept in Medicare for all, or you have a single payer system of, a monopsony where you have many sellers but one buyer, then the buyer has more power.
Yeah, there you go again, making sense, Paul. That's not going to do you any good.
But they can't always work that way because, for instance, rural hospitals cost more to run, so they would have to get a higher rate because obviously they have to be fully equipped and they don't have as many customers, right? I mean, we got off into the weeds here. I guess that's just because I got onto Beto, but
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Sorry about that.
It's okay, man. I know how it is, man. When you're smoking weed, that's what happens. I get it.
now I'm folding my laundry, man.
Oh, okay. Smoking weed and don't drop it on the laundry, man. You set it on fire, man.
All right,
All right, man.
All right,
Thanks.
Paul. Have a good week, man.
See ya. You folding laundry.
Folding laundry, smoking
Let me
weed.
get Mike here. He's calling regarding Jesse. Jesse. Hey, Mike, what's up, man?
Hey guys, how's everybody doing?
Fantastic, man. Thanks for asking, man. Tired as hell.
What I was listening to about the Smollett case and what I've heard about the Smollett case is that they dismissed the case instead of saying that what we really have is a plea agreement. He forfeited his bail, and he did some community service, and that's the agreement that we've come up with. So we're gonna.
You're right. That sounds more like a plea agreement than anything. You're right.
Right.
Yeah. Good observation, man. That's a good observation. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Mike.
The plea agreement. That sounds better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me tell you.
She said that. She so much as said that in her statement.
And there's nothing wrong
And
with
there's
that.
other stuff in his case that we'll never know that he's also agreed to do.
Grand jury stuff.
But we'll
know that
never
stuff,
we'll never know.
Okay, let me get Adrian. He wants to talk about the Smollett case. Adrian, what's up, man?
Hey, family, how you doing?
Fantastic, man. How you doing? Why you so excited, man? What you been drinking?
Or smoking?
Actually, I have.
See
been
there?
drinking.
Drunk ass. I knew he was out there drinking, man. Adrian out there drinking the sauce, man.
Listen, man, I've been working all these. I've been listening to you guys, but I've been working these weekends, man. So, you know, I got to kind of concentrate at the keyboard.
Before you launch a missile or something.
Now that you said that, man, I'm gonna do things to make you lose your concentration from now on.
Oh no!
I'm gonna play some funk that you're gonna jump up for one of these days, man. You're gonna be out of control.
And knock that glass of liquor over on your keyboard and just fry
right, man.
everything.
Your Crown Royal gonna spill, man.
Yep.
Lights gonna go out in Harlem when he do that.
You know what? Y'all ain't right at all.
What you call here for then? You knew that was what you're going to get.
That's right, man. What's wrong with you,
You know
man?
what?
Oh, drunk ass Adrian.
Expecting to call in here and us be nice to you and stuff.
Yeah, listen, at this point, the way Thurgood called in and put it down, the only reason I called is to say hi.
You mean, wait, you are or just to say it?
Say I'll be
Okay.
I just want to call in and say hi at this point because everything that I have planned on talking about, he just laid it all out.
Yes, he
smooth
did.
as butter. There's not much you can add to it, but I'm going to anyway.
Okay. With your drunk ass. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, exactly. So you know, Jesse and what he did when he threw the whole MAGA thing in there, it really did set some things back. But the thing is this, you know, I'm disappointed in him doing that or allegedly doing that. But I mean, going back to what Thurgood said, I mean, we paid $113 million in police misconduct settlements last year, and it was quiet as a mouse. You never heard about all the misconduct. You didn't hear about any of it. So now, you know, you got Rahm Emanuel, who is now all of a sudden piping up and wanting justice, who's not even running for mayor because he got caught up in a murder cover-up.
Yeah, that's why he's not running, because he knew he would lose. That's why. Yeah.
Yes. And Eddie Johnson, let me tell you, he seems like he's a cool cucumber, but before this guy was actually appointed police superintendent, he said in all of his years of being on the CPD, he hadn't seen any he didn't say misconduct. He said he didn't see any wrongdoing.
He hadn't observed it.
Now,
He hadn't observed it, is what he said.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, you didn't see it. So I guess you can say, so is that to mean that it doesn't exist? If a bear craps in the woods, you're right?
So, Adrian, try this on with what you're saying. So does that mean that, because he didn't just suddenly show up as a commander during the Laquan McDonald case, so does that mean that he was unaware of any of the
We don't answer
shenanigans.
to that. He's
So, you
part
know,
of the system.
Yeah, we know.
Part
We
of the
know.
system.
That's just a garbage statement, and it's just garbage. But so I'll get off of that. But on Beto O'Rourke, right? If you look at his voting record,
yeah, he's not
this
that.
guy has voted more with he's more of a libertarian.
Yep.
He's voted more with Republicans in a district he didn't even have to than he did with Democrats.
Hey, man.
So all you folks out there that are all these big Beto O'Rourke fans, you better do your homework.
Do your homework. That's exactly
but
right,
that's
man.
just it. They're not going to do it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
he appreciate it, man. Hey, man, go back to drinking, man.
All right.
Yeah,
go back
man.
to drinking, man. Have
I'm
fun,
on
man.
it.
All right,
I'm
man.
on it.
All right, man.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Adrian.
Drunk ass Adrian, man.
Calling us up here with that Crown Royal.
That's right, man.
And you know he got
Still
a Crown
the
Royal
purple
bag. Yeah.
Yeah, he
See?
got it. I know you, Adrian. You got the bag too, man.
Got two of them, don't you, Adrian?
Yeah. He got his money in the bag.
The money in
He
his
carries money
bag.
around in his
Yep.
bag. Yeah, I know how I roll, man. I used to carry one of those too, man. I carried my wrench from my skates in there.
A lot of brothers carry their golf tees and stuff in there.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
I know.
Stay tuned for more of the family meeting.
I've been dreaming about you. I've got no reason to justify love you, babe.
Hi, this is Attorney Cannon Lambert. Give me a call at 312-977-1300. Keep listening to The Family Meeting.
Then I close my eyes and think about all of you.
The reason that it's important to advertise on the family meeting is that we have an economical way of reaching a great audience. One could say it's not cheap, but what we like to say is that it's an effective buy for a business or an individual who wants to reach a quality audience. The reason that it's important or a good place to advertise is that our cousins love to patronize. I'm Richard Chu, also known as Bad, the Black Asian dude with the family meeting. For more information on advertising on the family meeting, you can reach us at info@tfmradioshow.com. That's info@tfmradioshow.com. You can also contact us at area code 708-794-6444, 708-794-6444.
Office of Darnell Lyles is ready to help you. Whether it's personal injury, criminal, DUI, and OWI, nursing home, product liability, it doesn't matter. Call 219-939-9LAW. That's 219-939-9529. That's right. When you're driving and get into a wreck.
You better call Darnell.
Had a few drinks too many? A cop hits you with a DUI or OWI?
I think you better call Darnell.
Arrested and facing criminal charges, misdemeanor or felony?
I think you better call Darnell.
Purchase a product that causes you or a loved one harm?
I think you better call Darnell.
When your loved one is neglected and abused in a nursing home?
I think you better call Darnell.
That's right, you better call Attorney Darnell Lyles and get represented right. And the first consultation is free. Yes, free. So call right now, 219-939-9LAW. That's 219-939-9529. Attorney Darnell Lyles. Darnell Lyles.
This is Miss Lady B from Dance Factory Radio. Welcome back to the family meeting.
Yeah, y'all. So, I got to give some big shout outs to our girl, Sharon Cooper.
Oh, yes.
She was on the NAACP Image Awards.
Image Awards.
She
And they
had
won.
And the girls were with
Yeah.
her. And I think Minnie Cooper was in town with them.
Yeah.
And Mr. Wonderful was there.
Yeah, Mr. Wonderful.
Yeah, and they even invited old crazy ass Cannon Lambert. Get the Cannon. He was out there too. My man Cannon. I sent him a text message the other day, thanked him for the work they've done.
Yes.
And congratulations on the little trophy that they got.
Yep.
And hashtag say her name.
Say her name.
Say her name. Mm-hmm. Sharon Cooper is the sister of Sandra Bland, who was murdered by the police officers in Texas, who set up her murder. Yeah, I called it a murder.
It was a murder.
Yeah, that's what I called it.
Straight up murder.
Yeah. Okay, see, I'll say something here while I find Tommy's music, man.
Also, it is our loyal listener, Mike Williams. It's his birthday today.
How about that?
Happy birthday, Mike.
Birthday, Mike.
He'll be somewhere wilding out somewhere.
Yeah, probably is. Because,
trying to catch it with Adrian.
Yeah, trying to catch it with Adrian.
Right. Adrian got that Crown Royal, man.
Not the crown.
Send us a picture of the bag, Adrian.
Yeah, man. Let's see what's on Tommy's mind. Tom, what's up, man?
I want to try to help you guys out as best I can. So I got the 3 best ways to do it. Eric, do you remember when Donald Trump was elected and I called in and I said that something very nefarious had taken place? Richard, do you realize that when I called in and I said that something very nefarious had taken place, I also said that for this reason, because of the mess that had taken place, that they would cover it up to withhold the office of the president. Yeah. Watch this. And I want you guys to be very clear about what I'm about to say. Now, I didn't leave you out, my girl. I did not leave you out. Do you remember when I called in and I said to you, they talked about some voting machines being tampered with. Equifax would shortly be hacked afterwards. From that day to this day, you never heard another thing about it. The country has gone through 2 years of waiting for a so-called report to find out exactly what is taking place, only to be told that nothing took place and he's not absolved from obstruction. But hell, the real bottom line to all of this is from distraction comes illumination. And it simply goes like this. In 1889, 100,000 individuals lined up in the plain lands of Oklahoma for the Oklahoma Land Rush. Amongst that 100,000 were 3,000 black people. Do you guys know the name called Oklahoma Sooners? The Sooners was given the title to those who went into the land illegally to make sure that certain people, i.e. colored people, did not make a claim in this territory. Well, the 1890 census come to find out that out of this 100,000, 3,000 blacks was in that 100,000 people, and 42 of them managed to make a claim in the city called Tulsa, Oklahoma. 31 years later, it would be the richest black community in the United States of America. Now you ask, why did I come from 2019 all the way back to the 1890s? Because I want to get clear with what I'm saying to you, which is basically this. By the way, I'm full of blue pills, drunk as hell, and I don't know. You can tell me I'm drinking. I can't smoke weed, man, because that stuff just absolutely stinks. But check this out, because here's the punchline, people. The punchline simply goes like this. If 42 individuals managed to make a claim in Oklahoma, and 31 years later, it would be the richest community in the United States of America until it was burnt down to the ground. Are you really wondering why the city of Chicago is in the mess that it's in? From distraction comes illumination. The hell with Jesse Smollett. Who cares? $65,000 an episode and you in some mess? Are you serious? And then you turn around and you go after Kim Fox and stuff because she simply recused herself? Are you really serious, people? Meanwhile, in the same time they're going after that, we have 2 black women who are supposed to be running for the mayoral office of the city of Chicago, which has been kind of like pushed to the side. Meanwhile, 2 15-year-old young men were killed in this same week that all of this nonsense is going on. And your president had the audacity to come back talking about we need to figure out what's going on with the Smollett case. And y'all running around here talking about insurance that he's been trying to get rid of from day one. You're running around here wondering why this country is in the mess that it's in. Well, let me just be clear with you. It's called Skip You. Skip the hell you, and I don't care what color that you are. And I just want to simply close with this. You said that there was no jubilation. What is there to be jubilant about when I go into the polling place and have to cast a vote, and I look at one, and one is addressing the administration, I look at the other one, and the other one is representing the administration? What is there to be jubilant about? Except for we made history. Well, I guess them people in Tulsa, Oklahoma is rolling over in their damn graves. Keep listening to the family meeting, because, hell, there's a nice, flat, pleasant, plump window I'm fixing to break the hell out. Goodbye.
That's our weekly community service. Tommy had that one built up, man.
Yeah, he did.
If we don't let him get it out here, he's going to take it out on you somewhere on the street. Thanks for that, Tom. So I'm tired as hell. Let me start with that.
Really?
Tell you, man, jumping on and off these planes all week.
Yeah, it'll be
and sleeping. So we did Roach Motel the first night, unknowingly. Couple of nights we slept well, but up early on campus, walking, talking, learning, taking it in. I would encourage, to the extent you can, I would encourage you, if you've got children, to take them to visit as many schools as possible, even schools they don't like, only because it's nothing like setting foot on the campus and getting a taste and a feel for it. Malcolm is a different out of my other two children, and he needed 2 trips to get him organized. I'm happy to oblige him. So I wouldn't say that we had a good time. It wasn't that kind of trip. Yeah. It was an interesting time for sure. And I think he's clear now on what's next.
Why do you think he's clear? What do you think caused him to get clear? The progression, or an incident?
No, it definitely wasn't an incident. It was, this was a confirmation trip for Malcolm. So the first trip, we kind of decided that we thought Delaware State was probably the best choice. So we went on a different trip with different schools so that we could say, compare and contrast, and see that Delaware State was the place. He had the occasion this time to go to Delaware State, and I paired him up with a couple of students who he wandered around campus with for a little while. And so, he's looking for a home. That's what he's looking for, like we all look for one. Yeah. And so I think that my vote's going to be Delaware State. We got one more visit to go, but what I would say to that is, as it relates to anything with children or any person, this trip for Malcolm and for my other 2 children was about exposure. And you hear stories all the time in Chicago about people living on the South Side who've never seen downtown. Never seen the North Side. Think everybody on the North Side got horns or wings or whatever. They just have no idea. Traveling in and of itself will do that, but exposure, if only via video, is huge. And then that translates over to the political realm.
It does.
I don't have any real desire to be exposed any longer to anybody who supports that imbecile. I think I understand them, and to the extent I don't want to any further.
Exactly.
But I am interested in the political season of hearing wide and varying ideas. Right. This Medicare for All notion, or the Medicare for America thing that Beto's pushing, those things. I'm interested. I'm intellectually curious about the debate, how to do that. I know the numbers. We've discussed the numbers. Yep. So I would encourage people during this election season, don't let it get silly. Let it get intellectual for you. Yeah. Dig deep, read, understand, argue. We welcome the arguments here because I think to the extent we've had an occasion to have an extended conversation about some of the concepts, I've learned a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
And changed in many instances on what I thought about different things. So I think what I want to try to commit to for us going forward for the rest of the election season is to figure out a way, which is kind of contrary to what we do typically, but try to figure out a way to have a robust discussion. I don't want to call it a debate because it shouldn't be a debate. It should be a discussion on how to solve the issues. We tried that one time when we had Gary Rozier here. Gary is, for you don't know, is a Republican who is a reasonable-minded Republican, in my estimation. A person that you can have a discussion with, right?
Because they do exist.
Right, exactly. And again, I don't have any allegiance to any political gang, so it doesn't make me any different.
Exactly.
I do have allegiances to our permanent interests.
I was just going to say that's our start. That can be our starting, restarting point, if you will, and then counter to how you run the show, we can at least have those as our list, and then we take one and then say, okay, we're going to work through this for the next whatever period of time, so that we get those topics out there,
right?
And then we discuss and welcome calls and such to go along with that conversation.
What's shameful, though, is the people that we want to and expect to have that debate, that robust conversation, that conference room discussion, they don't.
Yeah.
They're busy making platitudes and gaining political points and not getting to the substance.
Yeah.
And that's at the risk of becoming a policy wonk, they should do that. And they should come out with solutions instead of platitudes.
That's where they start, because how else can people share in your vision for this country if you don't start with policy, if you don't start with vision?
And on every subject matter that we have that goes from racism to sexism to funding medical care, it's a policy will give people insight into where you are, where you stand.
Yeah.
Right.
And then that doesn't mean that the policy, and I'm of the mindset that not every policy is going to be fully baked out when it hits your brain.
I need the media to stop, though. I need the media to stop taking the bait from this fool. Oh my God,
they are,
and they take his bait every single time.
Hold
I'm
up,
tired.
they're not incompetent. No, they're not incompetent. I'm not going to say they're incompetent. Maybe they are, but
they're complicit.
But they're complicit.
Oh God, yes.
Because of one thing, They want their paycheck, and they want access.
But what they're doing is not journalism.
And it's causing more harm than even that fool is to me.
It actually is.
You know what I'm saying?
They're providing entertainment.
Yes.
They're not doing journalism.
Exactly.
And all they're trying to do is satisfy their advertisers, their sponsors.
Yeah.
That's really it.
The Atlantic, I think, in my estimation, is good reading. I read the Atlantic articles in the Atlantic all the time. I think that they do good journalism there.
Yeah.
But so here's the thing, though. If we engage in that conversation over the course of the next 18 months or whatever it is, then we all are charged with the task of making demands. And
are you saying that's not a good thing to?
Well, I got two answers to that. Okay. No, it's not a good thing because we shouldn't have to do that.
Okay.
This is something that should be ferreted out in the process. The election process should be working that out. But it's not going to, I know, because they got imbeciles running. But the other answer to that is it's a good thing because now we have a basis for making those demands.
Got it. Okay. That's what I was hoping you were going to say.
I'm not, I'm just about through with anybody who can't answer or won't answer a question.
Yeah.
Or offers platitudes or doesn't have answers. Even if the answer is, I'm not sure.
Yeah, that would be better than to pivot and shift it to something else and some mealy-mouthed
crazy platitude. We need to be better. Terms like better or good or that doesn't mean anything to me.
No,
what's the actual policy?
Yeah, and if you're going to say we should do better than this, and here's how, I'm okay with you leading with we can do better than this, and here's how we can do it.
I understand in a campaign situation that you got to talk in sound bites, so it doesn't lend itself to having those extended policy conversations. But I think a skilled communicator can do it in a soundbite, can explain to you, this is where the money comes from, and here's the end result. And they can do it in a concise enough fashion so that you can buy into it.
You know, the other thing, too, that they've got to be willing to do, Eric, and if there's anything I've learned or become better at with knowing you and Tressa, is don't give a damn. if the person that they're debating with or they're being interviewed by or who else is in the room happens to say something crazy like, well, that's not going to work, blah, 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 I don't give a damn. This is what I believe.
That's right. That's right.
This is where I stand.
Okay, so there's our little soapbox moment for the day there.
Wasn't it a great soapbox?
I know,
right?
I know.
Ivory.
That's all the
I'm
time
nice
we
and
have.
soapy.
I want to thank you all for yours, for all y'all cousins out there on YouTube and everywhere else where you're checking us
stop
out.
screaming
We
at
appreciate
yourself
you.
out there.
Yeah, I'm going to go home and go to bed. Tressa, thank you for the news.
You're welcome.
You like Asian Dude for doing what you do, man?
Got my support.
Cause he a name Chu.
Yeah.
Yeah. For Dennis and the work you do, slavery's almost here, man. You'll be working a minute.
Gonna be in the big house, D.
That's right. No, he gonna be out in the field.
No, man, you gotta have him in the big house.
No, I gotta get some more. I gotta get a dark-skinned white dude in the house. Yeah, yeah. Tune into the family meeting every Sunday at 4. I'm your host, Eric Grant. Peace.
The preceding program is paid for by Eric Grant and, to the extent possible, their guests. The views and opinions expressed therein do not necessarily reflect those of NewsWeb Radio Company or its management.
Flores on CNN's State of the Union.
Very unexpectedly and out of nowhere, I feel Joe Biden put his hands on my shoulders, get up very close to me from behind, lean in, smell my hair, and then plant a slow kiss on the top of my head.
Some Democrats say Biden may be too out of step with his own party to run a successful 2020 campaign. The Trump administration today doubled down on its threat to shut down the southern border with Mexico. Correspondent Ed Lavandera reports border agents are being faced with a surge of asylum seekers.
Critics of the administration say, they believe that the administration has the resources to process them, even though CBP and the federal government is saying that they're overwhelmed and they're at a breaking point.
On CNN's State of the Union, acting White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney said U.S. lawmakers share the blame for the overload.
Congress won't give us any money to fix it. They won't change the law to fix it, so we're going to do the best with what we have. And if that means pulling people off of the ports of entry to put them out on the border where there's no wall, we will absolutely do that.
In the NCAA, the fourth-seeded Auburn Tigers beat the rival two-seed Kentucky Wildcats. Westwood One Sports' Scott Graham makes the call.
Kentucky needs a miracle. Here comes Hagan. Throws through. Washington a three-pointer. Shot no good. Rebound down to Harper. And he puts it away. He's dribbling the clock away. For the first time ever, Auburn is going to the Final Four. In overtime, Auburn knocks off Kentucky 77-71.
And UConn's women will go to the Final Four after beating Louisville 80-73. I'm Evan Haining.
This is Chicago's
There's nothing small about your business. Your passion, your hours, your reputation.
And
it's all
online at
huge. Your partnerships, even bigger.
Where facts matter.
Sarcoma. Odds are you've never heard that word before. But for the 40 people diagnosed with sarcoma every day, it is a life-changing word. Life-changing and devastating because sarcoma is cancer. Sarcoma is a cancer of bone and soft tissue more prevalent in children than in adults. More than 6,000 people lose their lives to sarcoma each year. Treatment options for sarcoma are limited, and new therapies are desperately needed. More research and increased awareness is necessary to find a cure for a cancer that you probably didn't even know existed until now. Through awareness, advocacy, and research, the Sarcoma Foundation of America is determined to help those affected by this forgotten cancer, to bring hope to the children and adults whose lives are forever changed by a word they had never heard before. Please help us in the fight to find the cure for sarcoma. For more information on sarcoma and the work of the Sarcoma Foundation of America, please go to curesarcoma.org.
There's nothing small about your business. Your passion, your hours, your reputation, it's all huge. Your partnerships, even bigger. With Dell Small Business Technology Advisors, you'll get the tech, advice, and one-on-one partnership to help your business grow. Because with reliable Dell PCs with Intel Core processors, you can focus on what matters most, getting business done. Call 877-BUY-DELL to speak with an advisor today. That's 877-BUY-DELL.
Geico is a proud partner for all of the Sleeper team, but every other team they're waking out of nowhere coming. Are you kidding? My eyes aren't believing the little school that could, and look, they're doing. Everyone, including their mom, surprising Cinderella. Yeah, and both of these giant shoe fit storytelling bracket busters. In other words, Geico is a proud partner for all of the madness that is March Madness. And little reminder, they make it easy to switch and save.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Together, we can turn a stairwell into an ER at a moment's notice.